Okay, so let me pick up. This is the third part and probably the last part for HTML color with it. If you picking up the last code with it, let me just move this over here and pick up where we left off on. This is we're talking about the border color right now. And what I've done is over here, I had ran into a little glitch right here. If you notice that this is supposed to have a border around this thing, I go back to the code and you look at how 2 pixel to with no spaces, and I gave it a space right here with it. So you can just remove that space and make that 5 pixel, make it a little bigger, or if you want to make it 2 pixel, it doesn't really matter. So Control S saves it, and you come up here to your open up your browser, which I'm going to bump this to the right and to the so we have both of them. Let's no, that's the wrong one. That's this one. So let's say we do this one with the way how we have it, and I want to refresh this, and you should have your 2 pixel border. So I left a space between the 2 and the unit pixel in here. That's what caused it with it as well. All right, let's do another one. Let's do another one with it. So I'm going to copy that comment line and just come to the other side of this and hit enter and Control V. Let's come down and look at some, that was border color. I want to look at some color values that you can replace inside of this thing as well with it. So this time we're going to do color, color value. So instead of the word color, let me do that. And in place of the word that you can actually use, you can actually do the same thing with putting the hexadecimal color. So why don't I just snag that couple of those lines that we just did with it up here. Let's do this H1 and B1, this paragraph down here. And let's come down here and put that here. So this is the color tomato right here. Let's just imagine that, right? That I'm using right here is the tomato color. And that tomato color, I'm going to change that with it. So we're going to do the color value with it. So background color, and let's remove. Yeah, I don't like all this. I don't like these boxes, to be honest with you. Let's do that one. And we're just going to replace it with some header files with this thing. Very clean header files with this. Just a lot easier to code with it. H1. And we're going to call it styles. Style, I'm sorry, singular. And then you come in and you do background color with it. So here is the IntelliSense for background color with it. And let me just maximize this a little bit so we have a little bit more space. Behind this in here, I'm going to use RGB, and you notice your IntelliSense kicks in with it. And we're just going to click on that. It tells you what value do you want for red. I'll say 255 for that. And I want to come over to the right with it. I want to say this, I want for green, I want to say 99 with it. And for blue, I'm going to say, making up a number, 71. I don't know what that looks like with so red, green, and blue. All right. So I'm just going to remove the text that comes after it and just remove this text right here. Okay. With it. So, right there. Okay. So just some fictional number with it. And I'll close off this tag. And I want to say, this is a border color. That's what do we say? Color values, and we said this is an H1. So this is an H1 or header one background color. How's that? Background color. All right. So that kind of gives you a sense on what this thing looks like as a background color. And I just use the RGB value with it as well. So Control S saves this. Now let me just take this right here and bump it over to the side. Maximize this a little bit. So you see the code. This is the window. I want to save this code right here. Control S and refresh this on this side. So it looks kind of like that with the background color. The only difference is that I use the RGB value with it as well. And you can do a lot more with this to add in different H1. Another way I could do this is, let me just take that H1, copy it. Let me do another one that you could also add. Instead of RGB value, you could add on here. Let me just remove that. Let's do a hexadecimal value. Where do I get this hexadecimal value? It's here. So this is a hexadecimal value. I'm just going to copy that color I have as a deep sky blue. Come over here. Let me show you what that looks like with it. So let me paste that in here. Right there. Okay. So that way Control S, come on over here. You can say this is another H1 background color with it. So let's save this. Control S, and come on over here and refresh this. So you can do hexadecimal color. You can do name of the color. You could do the RGB value with it. What's important is that for you to know that there are varying degrees of this is my point with it. All right. So I want to do one more, actually three more with you, so you could see with it. So let me just, we're going to do some other values that you're going to see. So this is the last one. It was hexadecimal value. All right. I'm going to come in. Let me do the HSL, and I want to come in, I want to add in the value 9, 100 with a percent, 64 with a percent. So there's various ways you can do the colors with this. I'm missing some numbers here. 64, 9, 100, 64 with this as well with it. So this is background color with HSL values. So you see what's going on here. All right. So Control S, come on over here. I don't know what this color is. I just made up this color. There you go. It's very similar to the HSL value that you just did. Two more. RGBA is another one that we could use. And of course, these applies to other elements as well with it. So instead of that, let me just take off this one. And in here, we're going to use RGBA as the color, and I'm going to put in a value of 255.99, 71, 0.5. Okay, and change this to RGBA value. So Control S, you can see how that value changes with it as well. And one more, last one is the HSLA value with it. So this is HSLA. Let me change this part right here for that HSLA. Inside of that, I'm going to use 9, 100%, 64%, and with it. So that's how that works with it. So you have 4 parameters for anything that ends in A with it. So Control S, refresh this. So this gives you a different perspective on different color values with it as well. Okay, so this concludes basically everything about HTML colors I want to share with you. So to save everything you have, link from your index page to color.html page and back to your index page, and give me a description of some of the stuff that we talked about today. All right, thank you.